The next question is, I actually have a couple of questions about jobs that I'll probably address together. And they are, what will be your dream job, and what do you do or did for a living, or what you have done before and enjoyed. So I guess I'll address what I used to do first. I used to work in Boston. I used to work in finance. That is my major. I also have my MBA. I worked with mutual funds. It was an interesting job. It was definitely a great experience. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do once I get back into the business world, whether I'm going to do something related to that or something different, you know, of course, still in the field of finance, most likely, since that is where my education and experience is. I loved the people that I worked with. I definitely liked certain aspects of that job. However, if you ask me, you know, what are your passions in life? What is something that you just get so excited about that drives you? I love makeup. I love making jewelry. You know, it wouldn't necessarily be that, which I did. However, I think that very few people are blessed enough to actually do what they're super passionate about for a living. And by the way, right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I have 2 little kids, 3, and he is like almost 1.5. He'll be 1.5 in December, and my daughter will be 4 in December. So I have 2 little kids, and I love, that is the best job in the world, honestly, is being a mommy, being a stay-at-home mommy, because I love being there for all the little moments. I love, you know, driving them around to all their activities, and I'm really, really blessed to be able to do this. We planned and planned and planned for this. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, quit my job and stay at home. I worked, you know, for a long time. We saved up money for a house. We moved to a completely different state where it's cheaper to live to be able to do this, because it was something that we really, really wanted. I got married when I was really young. I was 21. I graduated college early. I took some extra classes, so I graduated in 3 years when I was 21. And I had been with him throughout college. He is 3 years older, so he graduated my freshman year. And we got married like right after I had graduated. My senior year of high school, oh my gosh, my senior year of college, I was planning my wedding. So just like a little background information there. And next summer, it will be our 10-year wedding anniversary. Isn't that crazy? My dream job. So my dream job would have to do with makeup. I am so passionate about makeup, about safe, natural makeup. If I could somehow have a business where I sell makeup, or something like I make and sell makeup, that would probably be a dream job for me. I don't necessarily know how realistic it is, because I know that you can just make some things and go sell them on Etsy, and that is kind of a more realistic thing to do. And I do actually make my own eyeshadows and press my own eyeshadows and stuff like that, so I already like know how to make certain things. But if I were to do it for a business, because I really like pressed makeup rather than loose, and I like things like liquid and cream foundations because I have dry skin, I feel like I would really need to find, and I don't even know like where you go about finding companies like this, but you know, like Marlena from Makeup Geek, she is not making these at home. She found some kind of big manufacturer, and she's obviously working with them to design her makeup exactly how she wants it, with the ingredients that she wants and the colors that she wants. So I would want something like that. I would want to find this big company that would be able to do production for me, so that I could make the kind of products that I would want, so that I can make like eyeshadow palettes and pressed eyeshadows and things like that. So it's a little bit less realistic, just because I don't even know how you go about it. I don't know, it's probably not in like every state. I know she lives in California. She moved to California, so I don't know if this was like part of the reason she moved to California. That's not something that I would be able to do. because I have a family and, you know, I wouldn't be able to move away from where I live now, but that would be a dream job, is something like that, having a makeup brand where I was really hands-on in the ingredients, in the colors, and kind of merging performance and safe ingredients to make products that, you know, actually work and perform, but yet are safe. So anyways, the next question is, are you planning to have more children? And we are not planning to have more children. We have 2, as I mentioned before. We have a boy and a girl, and we're really happy at at where we're at. I can't form sentences right now. We're happy with our current children situation. It's definitely not something that I'm like 100%, definitely never ever will I have any more children. Like, I don't feel that strongly about it, but we're kind of like, we're happy and enjoying our life to where it is right now. It is difficult. There's a lot of, you know, challenges, and I feel like my life is, you know, really hectic. I don't really know whether I'd be able to bring, you know, a 3rd child into this right now. Just because there's so many things I do right now with my 2 kids, driving them to their classes, doing things with them. It's kind of like, the more children you have, the more you kind of have to par it down, and maybe my daughter wouldn't be able to take everything that she could. We kind of would have to make compromises and stuff like that. And I actually have a pretty hard time, like, I think this is like a mommy problem, where whenever I'm like playing with my daughter, I'm always like, oh, my poor son is just like sitting there staring at the wall, like nobody is like playing with him, teaching him things like that, you know, because there's this attitude, especially when it comes to babies, is that they need constant stimulation. You need to teach them Chinese, you know. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's kind of something that's been programmed in me by society. So I always feel so guilty, like, oh, I'm not teaching him anything, I'm playing with my daughter right now, or like, oh, I'm paying attention to my baby and doing something with him, my poor daughter's not getting attention from me. And I know that it's good for them. Like, I don't think it necessarily would be great if she got all 100% of my attention. Like, they need to learn that they can't always, you know, have mom do whatever they want. Like, sometimes she has to do other things, and there's compromises, and you have to share, you know, and then things like that. And so I think it's good. I think it's a good experience that they have a sibling, and there is, you know, that balance. But I do have a hard time with it in terms of like feeling really guilty all the time. So that would be another problem for me having more children, is I think that guilt would grow exponentially of, now I can't pay attention to all 3 of them at the same time. So just kind of a random tangent, I guess. Oh, and also I have my birth stories, both of them, on my YouTube channel, but I kind of had, I don't want to say difficult, because I definitely know that people have it way worse than I do, but I had pretty difficult pregnancies where I was kind of thrown up the first 3 months, and it was awful. And then with my daughter, I had a really difficult labor and ended up being an emergency C-section. And with my son, I tried to do everything I can to avoid that a second time. And I actually had him with a midwife, and I was able to have him naturally without any drugs, without a C-section. But I lost a lot of blood, and I had to have a blood transfusion. So I feel like every time like something went wrong. And so I'm also like a little bit scared of that aspect of having children. So the next question is, what do you love most about being on YouTube? And what I love most about it is being able to connect with my subscribers, connect with other YouTubers, being able to share my thoughts and opinions and ideas with others, because oftentimes I'll have a makeup product that I have just bought, or, you know, that I see in a store, and I have so much things to say and nobody to say them to, because I don't have that many people in my life that are as passionate about makeup as I am. And so this is such a great outlet, because all of this stuff is just like spewing out of me, and I'm like, I need to tell somebody about this foundation. And it's just such a great thing to be able to make a video about it. And it's such a great thing to hear, you know, other people's comments. Maybe they have experience with this product. Maybe they have questions about it. And I love that. I love answering questions, hence this video. I love, you know, educating people on safety and things like that. So it's just such a great outlet, and it's such a great way to connect with other people, and I really, really love that. So, and the next question is favorite makeup item to buy: eyes, lips, cheeks, etc. My favorite makeup items to buy will probably have to be lip products. It kind of varies. I go through these phases where I will be obsessed, you know, with lip products, and I'll just be buying up, you know, lipsticks and lip glosses and looking for this like specific color and just being, you know, really obsessed with that. And then because I have accumulated a bunch of those things, it'll kind of die down a little bit, and I'll get obsessed with the next thing, like foundations, and I'm looking for the perfect foundation. So it actually kind of circulates through. I would say that lip products are definitely a phase that comes and goes for sure, and like concealer and foundations is definitely another one. Like cheeks and eyes is, I have had a few phases, although less often, where I got obsessed with eyeshadows and I bought a bunch of eyeshadows. But I feel like because those last a really long time, and once I have kind of a big variety, I don't have that like push as much to go buy more eyeshadows. I'm looking over here because I have my eyeshadows over here. I'm about to make a video next about these palettes. So yes, I would say lips and face products kind of are my favorite things to buy and what I most often get obsessed with. So that is that. And how do you achieve balance and harmony in your life? So that is wonderful that you think that I have balance and harmony in my life, because I feel like my life is pure chaos. Actually, well, what I try to do is I have these passions, you know, like I love making jewelry, I love makeup, and so this kind of allows me to escape the chaos of everyday life and have, you know, doing something that you really love, I think is great for achieving harmony. Even if it's a little bit at night when the kids are asleep, I'm there, you know, up making my little wire wrap jewelry. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful escape. So just finding time to squeeze in these little things, to do something for myself, going to the gym, that's something that luckily I'm able to do for myself, and things like that that just kind of really help me. So I guess hopefully that's a good enough answer. But I also really love getting massages. Those bring a lot of harmony to me, but I don't go very often because it's expensive and it's hard to find the time and stuff like that, but that's something that I really enjoy. The next question is about a specific product. She has the Jane Iredale Active Light Under Eye Concealer, and it's a twist up pen, and sometimes it gets out too much product, and she's wondering what she can do to not waste the product. And honestly, I would just, you know, use what you need and leave the rest of it on the brush tip and just close it and leave it and use it the next time. It may sound weird, or you might think like maybe it's gonna dry up, but if it's a concealer that you use every day and it's not sitting there for like a month, it's not gonna dry up. And a lot of times with liquid concealers, this is something that both I have done and I've seen people do. You apply it, you know, say like underneath your eye, and it's very liquidy, it's thin, so people will do the rest of their makeup and then they will come back and it will have absorbed and dried up a little bit, so then when you blend it out, it doesn't blend out as much. You're getting kind of a thicker layer, more coverage. So the fact that it's been sitting there on the brush tip and has dried up a little bit, you might actually like the way it applies better. It might be a little thicker, a little less, you know, watery, might give you more coverage. So that is what I would recommend to do in that instance. Do you have any oil-free eye cream gel products to recommend? I have eyelash extensions and I can't use oil near my eyes because oil dissolves the glue. So first of all, word of caution, when looking for oil-free products, fractionated coconut oil, which is a wonderful oil that I love dearly. It's extremely lightweight, it sinks in really quickly. but it is an oil, and if oil indeed dissolves the glue of eyelash extensions, I would imagine that fractionated coconut oil would dissolve it as well. A lot of oil-free products use this oil, and the reason they can do that is because the technical word for it is capric/caprylic triglycerides. So if you see that on the ingredient list, the product has fractionated coconut oil, even if it says oil-free, because there's no word oil, and they can say oil-free, even though they're using an oil. I know it's very confusing, and it's very tricky and sneaky of companies to do this. So I would advise you to look for that ingredient if you're, truly trying to avoid oil. I actually had a wonderful little gel under eye product from Ole Henriksen. It was like a little clear blue gel, and I looked it up, and it does have fractionated coconut oil, so I cannot recommend that to you. But I was thinking about it, and I think one thing you could do is a company like Garden of Wisdom, for example. They sell HA serums, which is, and I can never pronounce this correctly, but like hyaluronic acid, I think is how you say it, which is a very kind of moisturizing ingredient. It's like a gel or a liquid, and there's no oils in it. So that is one way you can go about hydration without using any actual oils. It obviously wouldn't be the same as having a product with oils, but if you're really looking for just anything that you could use that does not have oils, maybe something like that would work for now. It's not, you're not going to get a creamy product without oils, but maybe try something like that. So the next question I have is, have you ever had a secret admirer, or have you been a secret admirer, and what advice would you give them? I really don't think that I have, and I don't know, this doesn't count, because I think a secret admirer is somebody that like writes you little notes, and you don't know who it is. So the closest that I've ever come to this is when I was in middle school. I had this huge crush on this boy, and I was moving to another town, so I was going to go to a different high school. This was the end of middle school, and I was essentially never going to see him again. And I liked him, and I wanted to kind of let him know that I like him. And I was kind of a big dork, so there was like no chance he was going to like me back. But I actually wrote a note, and I was always really shy, so there's no way I could have given it to him in person. So I gave it to my guidance counselor to give to him, and I don't know if she ever did or not. I haven't heard from him, but that could just be because he didn't want to contact me. But I wrote, I'm moving, but I like you, I'd love to keep in touch, like here's my phone number, blah blah blah. And that's kind of the closest that I've come to that. What do I think, or what advice I would give? I think that it can be a good thing, as long as it's not like creepy stalker kind of situation, as long as it's, say you're in school and, you have a crush on somebody, or somebody has a crush on you, and they just anonymously maybe like send you flowers or write a note or something like that. I think that it can be a good thing, because when you get to know somebody without knowing like who they actually are or what they actually look like, it makes you like a lot more open-minded, if you know what I mean. Like, there's been so many times where I have known guys that are just like extremely good looking, like your stereotypical like good looking guy, and then you get to know them, and they're like such a jerk, and they treat people so badly, and all of a sudden they don't even look cute anymore. Like, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but like I literally, like, I look at that person, and because they're so ugly on the inside, like I don't see the good looks about them. It almost like, I don't know, changes the way you look at them, and vice versa. You meet somebody and maybe they're just like some nerd sitting in the back of the classroom, that most people, don't pay much attention to. And I don't mean to like offend any nerds, because I'm a huge nerd and I actually love nerds. So I don't mean it in an offensive way at all, but just like stereotyping, I guess. And then you get to know that person, and they're so smart, and they're so funny, and they have such a great personality, and they're like a caring person, and all of a sudden it's like so much more attractive. That person is so much more attractive looking to you. Things about them that you may have not noticed before, like maybe they don't have huge bulging muscles, but maybe all of a sudden you're like, wow, you know, he really does have a cute smile. Like, I never noticed that before. Like, oh, what cute, like, he's got really cute eyes and da-da-da. Because they're such a beautiful person on the inside that they appear to be more beautiful on the outside as well, you know? And so I guess that could be one benefit of getting to know somebody before actually seeing them or, you know, meeting them or stuff like that. I don't know. Those are my thoughts on it. I'm sorry they're not, you know, too in depth because I don't have too much experience with this sort of thing, but hopefully this somewhat answers your question. And then I have 2 more questions left. Sorry, I'm just saying, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the longest video of all time. What is your minimalistic makeup look? And do you wear makeup to the gym or put some knowing you will go running errands later in the day? So I actually do wear makeup to the gym, not because I feel like I need to wear makeup to the gym, but because a lot of times I want to try out certain products and I'll put them on and I just, you know, happen to go to the gym like every day. So sometimes I just end up wearing makeup because I don't have time necessarily to wash it off. And also sometimes it's nice to test how a product performs when you're sweating. You know, is it long lasting? Does it melt right off? But I don't specifically, like if I was not wearing makeup and I was going to the gym, I wouldn't specifically go and put makeup on. Sometimes I might put a little bit of powder on because I feel like that absorbs some of the sweat and it helps me break out less. And I do almost always wear under eye concealer just because I hate my dark under eye bags. So I will, or circles. I will wear that. If I was like running to the store, I would put on a little bit of under eye concealer and a little bit of like mineral foundation powder just to kind of even out my skin tone, conceal my circles, and, you know, go like that. So that would be my minimal makeup routine. And the last question is, your favorite games at the moment, and do I play console or PC? So I do not play on PC. That is something that I'm interested in and want to get into more, but I play on both Xbox and PlayStations, and we have the Wii. We have like all consoles that have ever come out, including like the DS and just everything, because me and my husband are so into gaming. And I actually have a gaming channel, for those of you that don't know, which I'm not very active on, unfortunately, but that is a channel that I have. And my favorite games, I have not had a chance to play very much because I've been so busy with my kids and everything, but my daughter and I have been playing together on the DS a little bit. And we played the Mario and Luigi games, the Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. And I played those before already without her, but I kind of replayed them and I really loved them. Before that, I played the new Zelda game, and I'm blanking on what it's called right now, but we got the 3DS, that's the Zelda one. It's gold with the Triforce, and it's awesome. And it came with the game, and I played it and loved it. That was like an actual relatively recent game that I played that I loved. But I replayed the Mario and Luigi games right now. We are playing Minish Cap, which is a super old Zelda game, but we're playing that right now with my daughter. What did we play before that? Oh, we played another Zelda game, the Phantom Hourglass. So that was good. And with my husband, we usually have a game that we're playing with that at night after my kids go to bed. If we're not watching a TV show, we will play a little bit of a game before I go to bed. And right now we're actually playing an old game that we never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games. And because for a while we were like Xbox people, and then later we got into PlayStation as well. So we are playing Kingdom Hearts Final Remix. And that is the first time that we're playing Kingdom Hearts. And so far it's going well. We're not super far into the game, but I like it so far, so that's what we're playing currently. And however, my favorite games, like if you want to know what my actual favorite games are, like of all time that I've played, it would be the Elder Scroll games like Skyrim and Oblivion. Skyrim especially is just, oh my god. I love that game so much. And then the Mass Effect trilogy, just, oh, I love Mass Effect so much. So those are tied for first place for me. I also really love, I love BioWare's games in general. I really like Dragon Age, and so I'm super excited for Inquisition to come out. So anyways, this video is literally going to be like an hour long. I don't know whether I should cut it in half or just put it out there. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any follow-up questions, if you thought of any more questions, let me know. I will happily do these Q&A videos more often because they're really fun and they're a great way for you to get to know me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.